I knew very little about ALS. That all changed in 2012 when my partner John was diagnosed. The first time I noticed a symptom, John was walking around our condo. It just sounded different. Like one foot was slapping the floor harder than the other. And I asked him about it, thinking he had pulled a muscle, sprained an ankle, but he hadn't. And that slapping noise didn't go away. So I finally convinced him, you've got to go see our doctor. So he did. And that started months worth of doctor visits, specialist visits, testing. He came home from his third neurologist visit, and that third neurologist concurred with the other two that it was ALS. One of the first things John did was start to worry about me more than himself. I was stuck in that moment of, I'm going to lose the most important person in my world. I very quickly became focused on John and doing everything I could to care for him. I was his full-time caregiver, and yeah, it was hard. It was overwhelming. It was scary. It was tiring. But it was my privilege to care for him. One of the most helpful things we discovered was the ALS in Ohio. And that organization, that group, became really vital to our life. And to be able to talk with other people who were going through the same thing and understanding that what I was feeling, what John was feeling, we weren't alone in this. Without their help, it would have been a vastly different experience caring for John. We were lucky they were there. June 26, 2013 is when the Supreme Court struck down the Defense of Marriage Act with United States versus Windsor. And then June 26, 2015 is when the Supreme Court affirmed same-sex couples' right to marry in Obergefell v. Hodges. John died, but he died a married man. Without ALS coming into our lives, our case would have never happened, and I would have never become what I am now, a civil rights activist. And it really just took being in the right situation and finding a reason to say, this is what I believe in and this is what I'm willing to fight for all of that to change. Since the Supreme Court, I have founded a wine label that supports organizations fighting for equality. I wrote a book, Love Wins. I've also had the chance to write quite a few other things, book forwards, book chapters, afterwards. I've testified in front of Congress. I've testified in front of other legislative bodies. I've joined the boards of multiple organizations. I worked for family equality. So all of these things have happened simply because I love John, he loved me, and we wanted our marriage, our relationship, our family to receive the same rights, the same protections, the same respect as any other marriage or family. We were willing to fight to be part of We the People. I just want to thank the ALS Network for sharing my story and for all that they do to support the ALS community. For celebrating the anniversary of marriage equality in our country, and for making that important connection that decision, that step forward for our country in civil rights came about because of ALS. Thanks for all the important, helpful, meaningful things you do for your families. Keep doing the great work. And again, thank you